What's going on, POSim? MikeDec is here, and today I'm bringing you a standard Smogon OU battle between the users Stunt and Ojama. They're both very high ranked on the Smogon server. In fact, Ojama actually holds the current #1 position. So, looking at their team previews, Stunt's running a very, very unique stall team. It's actually Sun Stall, which I've never seen before. And Ojama is running a fairly standard sand team. He has the Rotom W Sizer turn, Volt Turn combo, along with Tyranitar and Landorus abusing the Sand Force ability. And he also has Rachi and Starmie. I'm assuming Starmie to remove Hazard so he can Volt Turn as much as possible. But yeah, let's get this battle started. So looking at their leads, Stunt decides to lead with Chansey. Not maybe expecting Rotom to start off, because usually Rotom tends to lead to Scout and Volt Switch and kind of figure out momentum. And Ojama decides to lead the battle off with Rotom as planned. So, Rotom is going to Volt Switch onto the Chansey, and Stunt is going to use this time to get up his Stealth Rock. Ojama decides to go into his Sizer, and that is going to have to end up forcing Chansey out, and Stunt goes into his Skarmory. Skarmory pretty much handle whatever Rotom Sizer wants to do. Of course, because of the U-turn combo, Ojama decides to U-turn out into his Tyranitar. Now, Stunt makes a very bold play here. He predicts Ojama to go for the Stealth Rock and not the Fire Blast, so he decides to get one layer of spikes up. But now, because Stunt predicts the Fire Blast, he's going to switch out and go into his Tentacruel, as Ojama does in fact go for the Fire Blast. But Stunt gets a little unlucky here, and he gets burned, which is actually going to be a really big problem, because this means Tentacruel is going to go down really quickly with the combination of Sand and Burn negating, Sandstorm negating leftovers. So Tentacruel decides to now go for the Rapid Spin to remove Stealth Rocks. Ojama goes for Crunch and does a huge chunk of damage onto Tentacruel. Now, Stunt reveals that he has Confuse Ray, which I've never actually seen before, but it ends up working because Ojama does end up hitting himself in Confusion, and now Stunt is going to use this time to get up his first layer of Toxic Spikes, and now, of course, because of Burn, he is going to go down. But now, Stunt is going to go into his Sableye. I'm assuming he's going to try to burn the Tyranitar, which, in fact, he actually decides to taunt. I guess predicting the switch was a very, very good play, but of course going out into Rotom, Stunt does not want to stay in with Sableye, so he is going to switch and go out into Ninetales, and Ojama decides to go for the Volt Switch, predicting the switch, which was a very nice play. So Ojama is going to Volt Switch out, go into the Tyranitar to get back the Sand. It's not burned, but of course entry hazards are really going to start stacking up on this, and Stunt does not want to stay in because he does not want to lose this Weather War, so he is going to switch out. He goes into his Skarmory, predicting, I'm assuming, the non-fire move, so probably Crunch or something. So he's going to switch out and go into his Skarm, and now predicting the Fire Blast, he's going to switch back into Ninetales. But now Ojama pulls a double switch and goes into his Rotom, predicting the Ninetales switch, probably. So now Stunt does not want to stay in and take a Hydro Pump, so he's going to switch out and go into Cresselia, and Ojama is going to once again predict the switch, go for the safe Volt Switch, because it would still do a very good amount of damage to Ninetales. He's going to go out into his Sizer. Now, Stunt reveals that he has the Reflect, which is very good because it means he is going to be able to survive this U-turn, and it is going to kind of mess up with Ojama's momentum with the Volt Turn, because Ojama probably was predicting a switch, because most Cresselia do not want to stay in and take a U-turn. But now, Ojama's going to burn this thing because he realizes that residual damage is probably better than nothing, and Stunt reveals that his attacking move is Psychic, and so now Ojama is going to go for the Volt Switch. He is going to switch out, go into his Starmie. I'm assuming he's not going to try to remove the hazards, if at all possible, and Stunt is going to go right for the Moonlight. Now, Stunt needs his hazards because he is stall, so he is going to go out into his Sableye, which is his Spin Blocker. And I guess, Ojama predicts this quite nicely and switches back out into his Rotom, because he knows that Sableye can't really do too much to Rotom, and it could really, really threaten it. So Stunt does not want to stay in with Sableye. He needs a Spin Blocker alive, so he's going to switch out, go back into Cresselia, and Ojama does not predict this. He goes for the Will-O-Wisp. He really needs his Sableye burn so he can get some residual damage on it. But now, Ojama does reveal he does have Pain Split. I hate the fact that Pain Split's bugged in this thing. I can never tell what the HP is. But now, Ojama's going to go for the Hydro Pump. Honestly, don't know if that miss really mattered too much. The sun is up, and Cresselia is a very specially defensive monster. So Ojama is going to predict the switch again and go for the Will-O-Wisp, as Stunt goes for the Psychic. Now, I'm pretty sure Ojama is not going to want to stay in for too long. I guess maybe he's going to try to get Rotom back up to fuller health. But at a certain point, he's going to end up special defense drops are going to happen. It really is a losing battle for Ojama. But now he's just going to, because he is such at low health, he is going to decide to pain split so he can hurt the Cresselia, but Cresselia is just going to Moonlight. But of course that is going to work for Ojama because he is going to be able to pain split and get more of his HP back. And I still can't tell what HP these things are at. It's so confusing. But now Ojama realizes that it's very bad for him to stay in. He's at a point where if there's really no point, so he's going to switch and go into Sizer as Crest goes for the Psychic. Now, Stunt cannot stay in. I mean, he might be able to stay in, but Stunt really makes a risk here. He's trying to see if he can survive a U-turn. I guess he probably definitely can because with Reflect Up it did 31% or something like that. So he's going to go for the Moonlight, easily going to be able to live. And now Ojama is going to just bring in his Rachi. Now Stunt does not want to stay in. He can't risk flinch hacks, so he's going to go out to Skarmory, who can handle most Jirachis. Of course, Ojama reveals that his Jirachi does in fact have Fire Punch, and in the Sun, that's going to be it's almost going to be a 2-hit KO, but of course, because of leftovers, it's not going to be that. It's not going to reach that point. But Ojama makes a very good play here. He goes for the Iron Head and hopes for the flinch, and he does get it, which means that Fire Punch has the possibility to 2-hit KO. He's going to switch out now, going to go into his Ninetales, and Stunt realizes that now he cannot bring Tyranitar in without it dying to Hazard. So he can pretty much force his Tyranitar to come in because he's not going to want any of his other guys to take anything else. So he's going to go out to Sableye, which basically means that Tyranitar has to be the one to come in, and that is going to end the Weather War, which means that Stunt's Sun is going to be up to stay. Which it puts, I guess it's better than Sandstorm, but it's really, the only thing that gets hurt by Sun being up is Rotom. But now this means that Stunt can easily go into his Chansey to sponge any hit that Rotom wants to do. But Rotom is going to Volt Switch. Going to go out to his Jirachi. And we all know how much anyone who's played enough competitive battling knows what's going to happen now. Ojama's going to Iron Head and Chansey's going to flinch. That's basically it. So Stunt does not want to stay in. He wants his Chansey alive as long as possible. Going to switch out, go into the Sableye. Sableye takes a very big chunk from Iron Head. Of course, Ojama now does not want to stay in. He doesn't want his... Wow, actually that was probably a better idea. Stunt goes for the Recover just to make sure that he can get a full HP in case some Will-O-Wisp misses. Sableye would be dead, which would be very bad for him. Ojama goes for the Iron Head again, risking the fact that Stunt is not going to go for Will-O-Wisp, or if he does, it's going to miss, and that will end Sableye's games. But, of course, that doesn't happen. So now Stunt's going to Will-O-Wisp because he knows he can live a Iron Head even if Will-O-Wisp misses, and Stunt's going to go, and Ojama's going to go into his Rotom. Now, he's going to switch to Chansey on the Rotom, but Rotom is just going to Volt Switch out, go back into Jirachi, and now same thing's going to happen. Jirachi's going to Iron Head, lives at 1 HP, or 1%, and Chansey flinches. So Chansey's going to go down. Yeah, Jirachi, everyone loves Jirachi's flinch hack shenanigans. And Ojama is now up 5-3, so it is not looking good in Stunt's position. But now he's going to go out into Sableye. He's going to Recover now because, yeah, he can. And Ojama's going to go into his Starmie. I'm not really too sure why. He's going to go for the Hydro Pump, but in the Sun, it's not going to do a lot because I'm assuming that Sableye is especially defensive because of how much damage the Iron Head did. And Sableye is going to reveal he has Foul Play, which is a very good move choice because that's going to... It hurts a lot of Rapid Spinners, and that's going to take down the Starmie. So now Stunt is in a very nice position because he has a bunch of hazards up, and Ojama lost his spin blocker. But unfortunately, Crest is now going to go down. So Stunt is really in a hurting position right now. He is now down 4-2. Ojama brings out Landorus, and Skarmory comes in, and this is where it gets amazingly bad for Stunt. Ojama reveals he has the Smackdown, and Skarmory, not predicting this, decides to go for his third layer of spikes. I'm assuming Stunt was predicting the U-turn, which is now means that Stunt is now down 4-1. He's left with Sableye. Not looking good, but he does get a Will-O-Wisp, but he misses, and now U-turn gets crit, and Stunt is looking in a really bad spot. But Sizer goes down because of all the entry hazards. So it's now actually 3-1. Rotom comes in, and Stunt's can be able to recover back up to at least half. So Will-O-Wisp is going to happen, but Ojama's going to miss, which I guess makes up for the crit on the Sableye before, but at this point, actually, Stunt is in a pretty good position because Sableye's going to taunt, which means that he can't Pain Split. Ojama's going to go into Jirachi, and if Stunt can hit this Will-O-Wisp, he can wall out the rest of his team. Jirachi can't kill him when he's burned, and now he could basically just burn the rest of his team, and Rotom is dead on entry. Rotom is actually just going to die on entry, which is really good for Stunt. So, Stunt is now Stunt's going to do what he can just to stall this out. There's basically everything that's going to happen in the rest of this battle. And, I actually can't. This is actually amazing. I've never seen a Sunstall team work like this, and I gotta give credit to Stunt. This is a very interesting team. Definitely outside the normal. And you know what? If it could be the #1 guy on the ladder, and you know, it really wasn't that much hacks. So it's a very solid. It's a very unconventionally solid team, and you know, it just shows how much outside the standard things work. And you know, you never think that Sunstall would work, but Stunt's proven it wrong. It's actually pretty solid. Tries to go for foul play. Jirachi Iron Heads. He flinches Sableye, which kind of sucks. And as I forgot to mention, Ojama does get the burn with the Fire Punch. Bound to happen eventually. It's 1/5 chance. But you know, at this point in time, Stunt is just in a very good position, and it's basically just not going to matter anymore. He gets a crit on with foul play, which actually sucks because it puts Stunt in a lower amount of health than he was wanted. But he is going to be able to Will-O-Wisp, hoping he can live. And this is basically the point where if Earthquake crits now or kills him by some bizarre reason, then it's over. But it is going to leave Stunt at 7% health. So Stunt's going to be able to recover stall this thing out too, which is great. So Stunt is looking very good. And this is basically how the battle is going to end. Sableye is going to just prove how beastly it is. It's just going to wall the hell out of Ojama. So, that was an amazing game. Like I said, it's just so unconventional, and it's really great to see things used outside of the box. You know, Stunt shows that, you know, you don't need the standard offensive Sun to build a good team. You know, you can use unconventionally solid Sun stalling teams and still win against very solid players, and especially because, you know, it's outside of the normal that makes them so good. I wouldn't really use Confuse Ray on Tentacruel. I mean, that's kind of a situational thing. But, hey, you know, it worked in this battle. So, good game, you two. Good game, Ojama and Stunt. Definitely very, very entertaining to narrate and very, very fun to watch. If you guys enjoyed the battle, please subscribe to the POSimulator. And, you know, that's it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Peace out. MikeDec is out of here. Later.